Good morning, Oklahoma. Welcome to Cow-Calf Corner. This week's topic is hardware disease in beef cattle, or what we could call bovine traumatic reticuloperitonitis. How does this happen and how is it unique to cattle? Well, because of the way cows graze, using their tongue to pull in big chunks of forage, if we're out here in tall grass like this, if there's debris or some other kind of material in this grass, particularly something like sharp metal objects, they end up ingesting it without knowing that they're doing it. Particularly things like wire, screws, nails. If it's in our grass, if it's in a harvested forage or feed we're providing to cattle, what happens in the process of digestion is this metal object is heavier, and so it ends up in the compartment of the stomach we call the reticulum, and the rest of the lighter feed material passes on through the digestive system. Because of the anatomy of the reticulum and the weight of the metal object, it's a virtual guarantee that it's going to stay there forever and potentially cause problems. When this happens, muscle contractions, the digestive process, we end up with an irritation in the lining of the stomach or a puncture to the stomach wall, and if we get a puncture and a penetration, we end up with hardware down here potentially penetrating the sac of the heart. And so there are varying degrees of issues that hardware disease causes. It can be mild, it can be severe, it can be fatal based on what happens with these metal objects once they're in the reticulum. Hardware disease in cattle can be kind of challenging to diagnose. There's a variety of symptoms. Cattle with hardware disease are going to appear to be in pain. They're not going to want to move around, and sometimes when we get them to move, we'll actually hear audible grunting. They may stand with their head and neck extended out in front of them. We may just see a gradual weight loss over time in those cattle, and they start to get a little unthrifty. If you're ever uncertain whether or not you've got or you're dealing with hardware disease, it's best to consult your veterinarian. And effective treatment is possible by feeding magnets and antibiotics, but you need to do that with the veterinarian's supervision. How do we prevent hardware disease? Again, something unique to cattle. We need to provide the extra management needed to clean up pastures, make sure there's not metal out there, make sure that we haven't got wire sitting around in the pasture that potentially gets ingested. We can put magnets in our feed mills, in our forage harvesting equipment, maybe in our cube feeder, but in doing so, try to prevent anything that is a potential cause of hardware from getting ingested by cattle. It's going to take some extra management to do it. We're going to need to invest that time and effort in keeping pastures and feedstuffs clean. But if we can eliminate the potential sharp metal objects, we go a long way toward eliminating the potential for hardware disease in beef cattle. Thanks for joining us on Cow-Calf Corner.